It's about 7:45 a.m., 27 degrees. Trying out my new puffy jacket for the first time. We're on trail number 6, a side trail, a little bit of a loop, maybe a mile, and then we'll rejoin trail 3, which is also the Hells Point Trail. So the Hells Point Trail is about an 8-mile loop, and then there are several side trails which shoot off from it and are loops, most of them. So we'll be taking a lot of those. I estimate total mileage today to be around 14. I hear some geese over there who may be in flight, or they may have landed near the lake. Can't see them, but I can certainly hear them. All right, that's the end of Trail 6. Now we're coming back to Trail 3. On our way to Hell's Point. Didn't know hell had a point. Wearing a base layer today, and so I'm a little concerned that later in the day it's supposed to warm up to about 44 around 3 o'clock this afternoon, but feel like it's 39. But still, I'm just concerned that that base layer may make me a little too toasty, but I guess we're going to try it, and at worst I could realize that I really need to take it off and just make sure there's nobody around when I'm taking off the pants portion. Do it quickly. So this is still Trail 3 and also the Hells Point Trail. I think we're looking for a side trail that goes off to the right. Trail 9, perhaps, which loops through the Pokagon Nature Preserve and then comes back. My pack weighs close to 16 pounds today, which is way too much, but that's okay. Thermos of coffee is what accounts for most of it. It's definitely the heaviest thing. And now that we don't have the orange jacket on anymore, we'll put on the orange vest. So we find this along Trail 9. The Civilian Conservation Corps was here in this area from 1934 to 1942. And they built at least 2 stone dams. You can see one there, and then there's one a little bit farther down, if you can see that one down there. What are they for? Well, it looks like maybe water comes from a spring, or groundwater comes out about right down there when there's enough groundwater to feed the spring, which there isn't right now, but then as the water comes through this little channel here, apparently those dams were built to just slow it down and prevent erosion of the hillsides here. So apparently these were built in the late 30s and then sort of forgotten about and rediscovered several decades later when the state bought the land to create the state park. What are we going to find at the top of this crest here? Something exciting? What's at the top? Now, if you hear the traffic noise over there to the east in the direction of the sun, well, yes, there's an interstate highway over there. And at the top we find more trail. Very exciting. So this Trail 9 loop is 1.7 miles. And then we'll come back around to Trail 3, which is concurrent with the Hells Point Trail. And we won't be far from Hells Point at that point. Here's a bit of glacial litter. Just a big old rock in the middle of nowhere. There's another one over there. And if you can make out that map, we are here. Pokagon State Park, by the way, is in the northeast corner of Indiana. I was scheduled to be hiking with Cousin Shay today. Remember Cousin Shay from the series Cousin's First Backpacking Adventure, which you can find in under the playlists on my channel if you want to check that out. But Cousin Shay is ill, and we weren't going to be hiking here. We're going to be hiking somewhere else, but I decided to come here instead and do these trails. But Cousin Shay will be back on camera with me at some point. You can be sure of that. You haven't seen the last of her. We actually have a fairly major outing planned for the near future. I don't really want to give away the surprise, but we are looking forward to that. Well, look up here, you can get a really good view of that's Interstate 69. The road in the foreground is a state highway, I think. State Road 127 maybe. And just beyond you've got the freeway. Alright, well, let's go west now and get away from this noise if we can. I want to say to my subscribers, hello, and thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, special deal, if you press the subscribe button right now, you'll be able to watch the rest of this video as a subscriber. How about that? I know every YouTuber says, you know, like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Every YouTuber says that. I don't say that. I never have said that. I didn't say it just now. Replay the video and you'll see. I did not say that. And I don't plan to. But I will say this. When I watch a video and it holds my interest, when I'm done, or before I'm done, I figure, what the heck? I'll press the like button. I'll subscribe to the channel. It's the least I can do to say thank you to this person for putting up something that held my interest for a few minutes. Yeah. That's just what I do. That's all I'm saying. Hells Point, formed by debris falling off a cut in a glacier and then collecting in a cone shape like a sand pile. All right, highest point in the park. You can see there's a stairway that extends down that way. I believe, if I recall correctly from a reading, that we have 84 steps ahead of us. But we get to go down them, which is nice. The advantage of doing this trail counterclockwise. However, gotta watch out for little patches of ice here. So, Let's use the railing and not the staff, and let's make sure we feel every step. Remember the puppy jacket from earlier? It is right here. Nice thing about these is they pack down very nicely. They smush and end up not taking very much room. Ham sandwich today with cheese, spinach, and mayo on multigrain bread. I packed 2 of them today. Well, we continued on from Hell's Point and then took a ride on Trail 8. And let's see, what do we got here? Okay. That's showing park closures, which are before and after today's date, which is November 22nd. We should be heading shortly into the Beechwood Nature Preserve. Let's see. Okay, I think Trail 8 goes that way and also this way, if I read the map right. And with the sun to our right there, we should be going somewhat eastward or northeast. Sun being a little higher in the sky now. And for most of the day should be toward the south. There is a loop trail out here which goes into the Beechwood Nature Preserve. It's 89 acres outside of the park. As we're doing all this stuff counterclockwise, the plan is just to stay to the right. Eventually we should come back. I think we come back along this same trail to where we just were, and then we take a right to continue on along Trail 8. All right, here we go. See the trail forks here. We're gonna go to the right and it'll loop around and bring us back here. So, there's another map, a little frosted over, but here's a sign. Beechwood Nature Preserve. Acres and Trust. It's hard to read that. Even in the winter, it's hard to read it. Protected by man, but managed by nature. Visitors are welcome. Enjoy, do not disturb. Please stay on trails, pets on leash. Pick no wildflowers, leave no litter. No camping, fires, axes, saws, shovels, firearms, no bikes, horses, or motorized vehicles. Check. Oh. Acres Land Trust. These brochures are a little weathered, and I think I can do with that one. It says please, and that may have said sign in. Okay, so I think this is about 1.5 miles, 1.7 miles, something like that. Looks like that says, oh, Beechwood Loop Trail. To Pokagon Trail 8. Back the way we came, yes. Okay, so here's another fork in the trail. So I'm gonna assume we go that way and it will loop back around. I mean, it ought to loop to the spot down there. But if we come back to this point, we'll know how to get back. So off we go. Here's a little trail to the side. The sign says Memorial Hill. And looks like there's a house over here. Is that a trampoline? They got a trampoline. Carnet Foster's tree. Okay. Carnet Foster's tree. In memory of Norma Wiesner or Weisner. And in memory of a friend. Perhaps a canine friend. So there's a residence there, and then there's a small lake beyond. And I don't recall, there's also a house on the other side of the lake. Probably can't see it too well on camera. In this area, there are many, many natural lakes left behind after the glaciers moved through and or melted. So we continue on the Beechwood Nature Preserve loop, which is 1.5 miles. When we finish it, we'll come back to Trail 8, take a right, and follow it up to somewhere. Have to look at the map to see what our next move is. But it looks like we have a climb ahead of us right here. Okay. Back to Trail 8. Bluebird Hills. Here's back at this thing that says, please do something. You can see the map a little bit better. So here's what we're doing today. We parked down here. The Hells Point Trail is kind of highlighted in gray on the map, and it goes around like this. I guess this is supposed to be part of it too. Go through the nature preserve and then to Hells Point, and like so around the wetland area, then into the main part of the park like so, and then down this way, and then it looks like it's okay, looks like you're supposed to go out to the nature center and then come back like that, and then like so. That whole thing's about 8 miles. But we've been doing extra. So we started here. We went south of Lake Lonadaw, took Trail 6 around into the nature preserve like so. Got back on Trail 3, went up to here. Took this loop around the Potawatomi Nature Preserve, all around like this, and then like so to Hells Point. And here around the Beechwood Nature Preserve Trail. And then if we're here, then we want to turn right. I think that's what we want to do, go down that way. That would be Trail 8 going around this way. We're going to go around the wetland area like so. Come down here to the spring shelter where we should be able to fill up our water. And then Trail 2 up to the north, up along Snow Lake and back down this way, then Trail 5 along the shores of Lake James down to here. And after that, I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember exactly what I was going to do when I got into this area here, but we'll figure it out then. So, off we go. Trail 8. Before we continue, though, I think I'm going to stop and lose one more layer. Take this fleece vest off. So, when you, in the wintertime, as you start to warm up during the day, you want to shed layers. And you want to have several thin layers rather than, thick layers. Especially, just like a t-shirt and then a heavy coat on over that. Really bad idea. You want just the right amount of layering so that you're comfortable, so that you're warm enough, but you're not sweating. So if you feel like you're about to sweat, you really want to get rid of a layer. Otherwise, you've got moisture on your skin, which has no way to evaporate, and that's going to make it harder for you to stay warm. Here's a nice little bench with a little bit of an overlook. I mean, we're on relatively high ground. Obviously, we're not in the mountains or anything. Of course, I'm in the sun right now. If I get back in the shade, I may wish I hadn't taken this off. All right, let's go. So now we're on a connector that takes us west to Trail 7. The junction with Trail 7 might be right up here. And it looks like we have a pond or a wetland, a marsh. The trees on the far side there, they look like they're submerged. So that would seem to indicate, more of a swamp, marsh, wetland, whatever you would call it. I don't know the difference, if there are technical differences among the terms. But yeah, so go back that way to Trail 8. So here's a park map. You notice anything funny about that? I'm standing in the way, I guess. It says you are here, but where? It doesn't point to anything. We are here. So yeah, there's the wetland. Okay, so we're gonna go around the outside of it and then come back and continue on Trail 7 at a point that's down there a little ways. Let's do it. So there's the wetland. It looks like it might be frozen or close to it. I don't know if, well, I mean, it's probably shallow enough that maybe it has been cold enough recently to freeze. Here's a better view. Also, over to our right, we see a bird station of some kind. So I imagine data is collected there by foresters and wildlife management people. I've seen several of those along these trails. So I would say we're looking in the direction of the trail ahead of us. In other words, it'll be on the other side of that, and then continue to our left, come back around, and start going kind of southeast, and eventually getting more into the main part of the park. Okay, back on the Hells Point Trail, also known as Trail 7. We're going to take a right and go toward the spring shelter, which I'm looking forward to because there should be water there and a place to just take a break, maybe eat my other sandwich. I've run into 6 Homo sapiens and 1 canine out here today. I passed a jogger, and then there was a lady with her dog going the same way as me. She turned down that other trail, so I didn't catch up with her, and then I passed a family of 4. Next stop, Spring Shelter. Spring Shelter, I presume. Okay. Let's check it out. Looks like you could build a fire there. And you can build a fire inside. All right. Well, I am hungry and thirsty, so let's stop here for a bit. There's supposed to be water here. On the park brochure here, I'm pretty sure it said this is for the Hells Point Trail. Take plenty of water. The last place to fill water bottles is at the spring shelter, which I think this is. But looking around nearby, I don't see water. So we're here at the spring shelter. Now the plan is to continue along Trail 2 and take it way up here, all the way up to the shores of Snow Lake, come down around like so, and then Trail 5, maybe take this little spur over to the Lake James upper basin shore, and come back down this way. And when we get around here, I'm not exactly sure what to do. Maybe loop around this way, go up like so, over to here, down to here, then maybe Trail 1 around like so, out along this point. So we see the shores of Lake James Middle Basin and Lake James Lower Basin. And come up to the Nature Center, and then I don't know. The parking lot is over here. But anyway, we're going to head on down Trail 2, which goes that away. Just checked my phone and found that I had a text from Cousin Shay, who has just purchased a bear canister in preparation for our upcoming outing. I'm going to be getting a bear canister as well. She went with one called the Bear Vault, and I don't recall if that's, I don't remember the names of the various ones that I looked at, but the Bear Vault might be one of the transparent ones that REI sells. I'm not going to do a transparent one. I'm going to do one that is, I want a nice solid one that will double as a stool. So it's just around noon now. We are leaving the spring shelter. And hey, look, here's the water right over here. I don't know how I didn't hear that. I came to take a look, you know, and try to find out where that water was. I didn't hear this, but I'm all packed up now. I think I'm okay though. I still have more water than what I started with, and I'd say we're, you know, more than halfway through the hike, so I think we'll be all right. So let's move on. Trail number 2. Okay, we should be coming up on Snow Lake. We also have a very loud buzzing or humming. Just some monotonous sound droning on. Coming from that building over there, which I guess is a treatment plant. I believe I saw that on the map. Yeah, some kind of treatment plant down there, making a racket. Snow Lake, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful spot to honor the memory of Riley Zimmer. Look at that beautiful blue water. And look at that patch of rushes out there in the middle of the lake. That's pretty wild. Must be pretty shallow. I would imagine all around it pretty shallow. So I wonder if motorized boats are allowed on that lake or if it's too shallow. And it stretches around to the right here, over this away. Here we are now on the shores of Lake James. And it seems that I have blundered into a campground. And so this is a campsite right here. Campsites over there and a couple over here that are right on the lake shore. That's pretty cool. See, here's your fire ring and picnic table. But I guess I was on Trail 2. Somehow I ended up in this campground here. So I guess I'll just take the campground road out, and then Trail 5 should cross. I want to take a right on Trail 5, maybe go down to the lake shore, which maybe is down there someplace, and then come back, continue along Trail 5 down like so. So let's see if we can find our way. Put my hat on because it's breezy right here. The breeze actually feels pretty good, but the hat gives me just the right balance, I guess, for heat. Hey, look, we can get to the beach. This is just off of Trail 5. I missed the spur that doubles back to the shore, which would be down there somewhere. But it's okay. Found another way to the shore. Great place to dip your feet in the summertime. Back to Trail 5. We are approaching something labeled as the beach house. How about we bypass the steps and go this way? There's another little trail for beach access, if you want to try it. Hey, congratulations to John and Rose. This is going to be the beach house up here. Beach access there. And a real live beach up here. With a playground, it looks like. As we leave the beach here, we should be able to find Trail 5. There's no sign, so we're just going by the map, where Trail 5 should be at the other end of the beach here. So, guessing this is it. And I think we're going to loop around and come to a CCC shelter, which might be that building right up through there. But anyway, when we come around to there, we're going to try to hit Trail 4 and take it north, working our way back over to the Hells Point Trail. So it's 1:51 now. And is this the CCC shelter? I mean, it's something called a shelter. I wouldn't expect it to be so big. But what do we got here? So we're on Trail 4 now, going north. And let's see here. Yes, CCC Combination Shelter, 1936. On the National Register of Historic Places by the U.S. Department of the Interior. Now that says Grafe, 1992. I guess that's who built this marker here, I guess. But then, wait a minute. That says Laird, 1975? 95? Maybe that's just something. Maybe that's graffiti. I don't know. Anyway, dedicated to the U.S. Civilian Conservation Corps, 1934 to 1942, the men who built Pokagon. All right, combination shelter. What does that mean? I don't know. Looks like got a lot of tables in here. Oh, rent skis there and return skis there. Big old fireplace in here. Some goggles, visor. Anyway, Trail 4, I believe, goes on down that way, so off we go. Okay, now I'm walking down a road, and I don't know exactly where I am. Had a little trouble. I came to like a three-way split in the trail. Took one way, and it seemed to take me back toward where I was. Went another way, brought me to a parking lot, and I saw a gate, like a gatehouse for a campground. Found that on the map, and it looked like if I continued along this road, I could get back to the Hells Point Trail. All right, here's an underpass, and then that looks like, all right, I should be able to find that on the map. And then, does that say a bridle trail? There's a sign there that indicates some kind of a trail. So maybe we can get back on track here. Oh, bicycle trail, which I think is what we want actually for to rejoin the Hells Point Trail. I think I'd intended to take Trail 1, and that may be the sign right over there. Okay, so maybe that's Trail 1. We'll get on that, take it around, and then come to the nature center from the south. I had intended to get on Trail 4 and join it over here someplace, but looks like I walked along the parallel road. Okay, so let's go Trail 1 over there, if that's what that is. Yeah, there we go. Trail 1. Recording with my phone now because the mini SD card in my new camera filled up. It's only 32 gig, so I want to get a bigger one before cousin Shay and I do our adventure, so that I have plenty of storage. But I have to be careful because I have to get one that is compatible with the camera. I learned that not just any mini SD card will do, because I have one in my phone, and I tried to move it over to my camera, and it wouldn't record with it. So I have to get a certain kind, but I want to get basically the max storage that I can, or get a couple of them. What's the meaning of this cloud right here? Is that smoke from a fire? Or is it just a strange little bit of fog rolling through? And does Trail 1 go along here? Can't exactly tell. And is that a helicopter? Oh, no. It's a truck. What? Okay. Maybe we are close again to the interstate highway. It's from a fire. I can smell the wood that's burning. Is it supposed to be? That's the question. Okay, Trail 1 goes over there. Coming up close to Lake James. I guess this is the lower basin. Or maybe it's the middle basin, and then when we get down to the end of the peninsula, start back north, and over to our right is the lower basin. Maybe one of these houses down here was the source of that fire. Might just be burning some leaves, but it smelled like wood to me. This should be about the southernmost point of the hike. Looks like we're running out of peninsula. The lake is up ahead of us. Difficult to see, and the trail doesn't come particularly close to it. But now it looks like we are angling back toward the east, and then looks like we go down here a little ways, and then we'll go back north. And we should encounter the nature center, and shortly after that find what is probably like a bike path. It'll probably be paved, and that will be back on the Hells Point Trail. Oh, here we get a slightly better view of the lake. Little side path. Let's see what we see. We see construction. That's what we see in the foreground. This looks like it could be a nature center. Wonder if it's open today. Let's find out. Okay, welcome to the Pokagon Nature Center. Let's see. Closed Monday and Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. So, that answers that. Well, continuing on. All right, here we go. The bicycle trail to the campgrounds. We don't want that because that would go to the left up here somewhere, fork off to the left. We want to stay to the right for the saddle barn and the inn and the main gate. And this is our last stretch of trail, and this is part of the Hells Point Trail. There are no signs really that say Hells Point Trail, but it's just highlighted on the park map that shows how to follow it. And it's an 8-mile loop. We missed one section of it, but we did most of it. And then of course we did a bunch of side trails, and we did the Beechwood Nature Preserve trail. So I'm estimating the total mileage today to be around 14. Beautiful way to spend a day. It's a little after 3 o'clock, and well, can you tell the angle of the sun in the sky? West is about that way there. So the sun is working its way down to set over here somewhere. Sunset is supposed to be at 5:16, so that's just a couple hours away. And of course, here in the Northern Hemisphere, the days are getting shorter and shorter, and they will continue to shorten in length until the winter solstice, December 21st or so, and then start to gradually get longer after that. So it's mainly the lengths of the days, the shortness of the days. That's the main thing that discourages me somewhat, deters me somewhat from doing overnight backpacking in the winter. It's not the cold. I can prepare for the cold, I can deal with the cold, and it's not the snow and ice, which I love, actually. You know, I don't mind any of that. But it's the shortness of the days and the long nights. That's the main thing. So the fact that it gets dark so early, and usually I like to get to sleep really soon after dark and just go ahead and get the sleeping over with, and then whenever I wake up and I'm ready to go, you know, just pack up and get started, even if it is before daylight. But we're talking about such long nights in the winter, so, you know, realistically it just means old dude's gonna be doing fewer overnighters. We have pretty much stuck to the plan all day today, exactly what we intended to do, except for the part where I lost Trail 4 and ended up right there. Aside from that, we followed exactly the route we wanted. So, see, now we go this way toward the inn and the saddle barn. And we're on the home stretch here. Last portion of trail. And Pokagon State Park will be in the bag, except for short little sections of trail here and there that we didn't hit. Aside from that, we did just about every bit of trail that this park has to offer. Plus, the bonus, the Beechwood Nature Preserve trail. I guess these are the saddle barns that were advertised. Guided trail rides, pony and hay rides. And we continue on down the trail this way. We come to this sign, and the bike path continues on like that. But then here's a gravel path over here, and through the trees that away, that looks like the inn to me. So I think I'm going to take this gravel path. Looks like it cuts over to it. Maybe the bike path goes down there and passes a little bit north of it, and then you have to come back along the road, perhaps. So this looks like maybe the way to go. I'm pretty sure that is the inn where we parked. I hear a car to my left, so I think the main road that goes past the inn is probably up ahead of us. So this is called the Potawatomi Inn. Lodging and a restaurant. We might want to pop in there, just have a look. Aha! Now I see the silver streak down there at the end of that row past the black car. Always a welcome sight. So it's about 3:30. That took us about 8 hours. And again, estimated mileage around 14. The trails of Pokagon State Park in northeast Indiana. Let's have a look at the inn here. Potawatomi Inn. It's named for the Potawatomi Nation, which inhabited this area of the country. And Pokagon State Park is named after the last two, I guess, chiefs of the Potawatomi tribe. The Potawatomi's last two most notable leaders, Leopold and Simon Pokagon, father and son. Little snack bar or something. Courtyard Cafe. Not open. Open on Friday afternoon and Saturdays. And here we have the sun deck, where you can just sit and take a look at Lake James. Pretty cool looking birch tree right there. Seems to have not wanted to grow any higher. Well, that's Pokagon State Park for you. I expect for my next adventure I will be back in Pennsylvania, but we shall see. Alrighty, I'll see you on the next adventure.